Hello YouTube, this is Dbtgamer Show, episode 166, and today I'm going to review Sonic Advance 1 for the Game Boy Advance. So, let's get started. Alright, let's start the review. Now, Sonic Advance 1 is a very good speedy platformer. The story of this game, it's very simple. Basically, Dr. Robotnik has stolen all the Chaos Emeralds, and he's used these Chaos Emeralds to create several giant robots that are threatening Sonic's world. And it's Sonic's and his friend's job to get rid of all these giant robots and stop Robotnik from taking over the world. Graphics of this game, the graphics of the game are rather good, but just hop into a level. I'll talk briefly about the graphics. As you can see, the graphics of this game are very good. They look slightly better than the Mega Drive games, and I think this is really good. Very bright and very colourful. Controls for the game. The controls of the game are very, very good. There's a large variety of moves depending on which character you choose to play as. Example, Sonic, running and move around is controlled by left to right. Press up, you can look up. Down, you can crouch. If you press down, A, you can do a super spin. Press jump, you can jump. Press jump twice, you can do a flash kick. Press B, you can roll. Press B twice, you can do a cartwheel. Press B 3 times, you can do a slide into a cartwheel. So, the characters have quite a large variety of moves. Also, whilst running, if you press the diagonal, you can roll, which can be pretty useful. And then let's go into a different character and check out their moves and abilities. Let's talk about Tails' abilities. Tails has a lot of ability in this game. He can jump, he can fly, which is very useful for finding the Chaos Emerald stages. He's got super spin, same as Sonic. He can do his tail attack, which is pretty useful. And that's pretty much it for Tails. Let's talk about Knuckles, which is one of my favourite characters in the game because he's got a large variety of punching moves. This is one of the very first games that Knuckles can actually punch without just waiting for the game to go to the wait mode. He can jump, he can glide, you got the spin dash like Sonic and Tails. Press B once, you can do a single punch. Press it twice, you can do a combo punch. Press it 3 times, combo punch with an uppercut. Which works really well. The final character I have in the game is Amy Rose. Now, Amy Rose, she's a little bit weird, but she does have some rather good moves. B's hammer. She can jump, but she doesn't jump bare ball, so you've got to watch out when you jump because you can still get hit by enemies, unlike you can with Sonic. Press down and A, you can do a hop, which can be useful for getting up hills. Press down and B, you can do a hammer jump, which is really useful for getting to higher places. Could even be good for getting to Chaos Emerald stages, I might add. She can hit, and if you press jump down and B, you can do a hammer spin, which is a really good move. It's really good for bounce on enemies. One of my favourite moves for Amy is this one though. If you keep running, eventually, once Amy picks up enough speed to get a hammer out, press B whilst in this form. Or is it A? One moment. Well, he's supposed to be able to do a really big jump, but for some reason I can't get it to work. Oh well. Hold on a moment. I'm back, YouTube. Just have to go sort out a few things. So the controls of this game are really good. one thing I really liked was the large variety of moves you got for each characters. Instead of just being able to jump and do a spin dash, it gave the characters a little bit more personality, a little bit more options for the player to pick up what they wanted to do. Another thing I really liked about this game was the music. The music is very fast paced and it gives you sort of an adrenaline rush and keeps you motivated so you keep playing the game. Gameplay for this game. The gameplay for the game is a speedy platform. It's not a very long game. There's... one more, let's check how many levels there are. 1, 2... There's 6 zones, and there's 2 acts in each zone, and there's also the final zone and the extra zone. In zone 2 of each, act 2 of each zone, you always fight a boss. There's also some special stages. Special stages can be quite difficult in this game and also quite annoying to get to. But the one thing that's really good about this game is it doesn't matter which character you get the Chaos Emeralds with. So most of the time when I want to get the Chaos Emeralds in this game, I always either go for Tails, Knuckles, or on the rare occasion, Amy. Because Amy, Tails, and Knuckles have the ability to glide and also jump higher than Sonic can. And the other thing that Sonic and Amy can do that Knuckles and Tails can't is grind, which is pretty cool. And press A, you can do a nice little jump at the end of the grind. Let me just get to the end of this level there, I can show her boss. Alright mate, you took this to the very first boss of the game. If I remember right, it's pretty easy. It's a giant hammer thing. Not all the bosses are as easy as this one, but if you damage the boss enough times, they go mental and start doing all these crazy attacks. Like this one starts bouncing around all over the place. Whoops. We're gonna get squashed then. That's what one of the bosses is like. The next thing I want to show off YouTube is the special stage, but the special stage is somewhat hard to get to, so just give me a moment to find one. Right, I managed to find a special stage, YouTube, towards the end of the first level, Zone 1, Act 1, you'll see a small corkscrew pipe. You go through the corkscrew pipe, then you stop, and if you jump on top of the corkscrew pipe with a gold spring, if you use this gold spring to bounce onto a lift, or if you fly onto the lift, you take the lift all the way to the top and fly up. Towards the right, you should see this long pole. Grab the pole, you can bounce up onto this platform, which leads to the special stage. The special stage entrance is this red and blue spring. Now, this is where the game gets really cool, but really difficult and also really weird at the same time. Basically, the way the special stages work, it takes the game into a 3D perspective where you have to collect all the rings that you can in order to get through the stage. The way the controls work in level is a bit difficult because it's kinda in 3D. Left and right moves you left and right, up and down moves you up and down. And if you hold A, you can go faster, but you don't want to do that too often because you can sometimes miss valuable rings. But if you press A, it says in those points you can actually earn rings for using the A, which the A button sort of counts the trick. There are 7 chaos in the game. If you manage to get all 7, you can access the extra stage and go fight the final boss and play as Super Sonic. Let me just exit this level and go into a new level, because I want to show one more level before I finish off the review. There's also a versus mode, so you can play a race a racing style Sonic game with your friends if you happen to have a link cable these days. There's also a time attack mode which lets you go through any stage that you want and see how fast you can beat it in. And that's pretty much it. The next thing I want to show YouTube is the Tiny Chow Garden. Now, the Tiny Chow Garden is one of my favourite parts of the game. It's basically a virtual pet, kind of. This is my chow, he's called David. And throughout the game, you collect rings, and you use these rings to buy items for your chow. Press the L button, you can open the store, you can buy food so you can make your stats grow. And you can connect your Game Boy Advance to either Sonic Adventure 1 or Sonic Adventure 2, and you can use your chow in that game to collect emblems, which was quite a unique feature. It's kind of like downloadable content, I suppose. You top right hand corner of the screen, you've got these little Game Boys. And if you click on these Game Boys, you can play mini games to also earn rings. This one's basically a match the card game. But the best way to earn rings is probably by playing the actual game itself. The next mini game is rock, paper, scissors. This one's quite easy. You can very easily earn rings. You just gotta throw the cards at them and get your rings. That's how that works. You can buy items for your chow, and some of them will please instead with that as a television, so you can watch telly. There's a trumpet, which can make it blow. And there's also a rubber duck, which doesn't seem to do that much. This egg here is one I bought from the store. If my chow ever leaves the Game Boy I leave from my GameCube, I can just hatch this egg and start playing with that one instead. Down the right hand side is all your chow stats. You've got swimming, flying, running, and stamina. Stamina is probably the hardest one to get up because that one takes forever. And that's basically always the chow garden. But it's a nice little feature that's fun to play around with at times. Especially if you want to get a really good chow and actually be able to progress in the chow challenges in the GameCube games. The last time we'll talk about YouTube is a special code which you can put into the game so that you can play as Sonic and Tails both at the same time. First, highlight Sonic, and then press up, then highlight Tails, then press down, then highlight Knuckles and press L, then highlight Amy and then press R, then highlight Sonic, then press A. Then pick your level, a ring sound should happen, and then you can play both Sonic and Tails together. It's a nice little extra, and I think it's a bit cool. Anyway, YouTube, that's all the good stuff I'll talk about. Now for my complaints. Okay, now my complaints about Sonic Advance 1. I have virtually no complaints about this game because it's such a good Sonic game for on the go. My only complaint is the special stages are really, really difficult sometimes, and they're also really hard to find. I remember when I first got this game, I actually used to collect a magazine called Advance, which were the cheats magazines for the Game Boy Advance, and if I wanted to, I couldn't find the special stages, so I used the magazine to help me find the stages because they are quite difficult to find. And most of them are in very high places, which is where Tails is good to find them. But other than that, Sega Advance 1 is a very good Sonic game. So I give this game a 4 out of 5. My next review will be Streets of Rage 1 for the Sega Mega Drive. But until then, bye!